Hi, this is Tanya from Love Buddha Tarot. Sorry, I'm using my phone here and I'm just trying to get it all right. So, yeah, it looks totally different to how it did, but I'm here. If you can hear me, if you can see me, please let me know before I go into this Capricorn full moon reading, which, yeah, it's really interesting one, this, I think it is. So, I'm just going to wait for some people to come on, and then when they come on, if you please make sure that you have the bell ticked under your subscribe, because a lot of people are saying that they're not getting notifications when I'm coming on. So if there's people there, yeah, you can see me, brilliant, and Mary as well. That's cool. Right, okay. So, like I say, make sure that the bell's clicked. If you haven't already subscribed, please do that as well. Hi, Louisa. Hi, oh goddess, Mama. We're all coming in this morning. All the ladies. I got that song there in my head. All the single ladies as well. MJ, Jamie. Hi, Jamie. Magic Me, Amel. Hey, Amel. I just sent you a message today. So, oh wow, everybody's here. This is absolutely great. So I feel we've gone through a hurdle, okay? That's what I want to say as well. So, yes, Fireflies, I do feel it's going to be a good one. So I'm going to go straight in. Hi, Viv as well. So I'm going to go straight in with what I'm getting. I have a couple of notes there, but they're also telling me a lot of things as well. So, what I'm feeling, the first thing I'm feeling with this is it's like it's gentler. It's almost like we can breathe again. I'm feeling the real softness in the energy compared to what we've been through. Now, I didn't realize how tough Gemini season had been. You know, it's kind of we plowed through it, but it's only afterwards where we're like, fuck, what was that? You know, it was very, very mental. I think a lot of kind of dissecting and a lot of thinking and a lot of also questioning our own thinking and our own thoughts. That's what I kind of felt was happening within the Gemini season. And what is coming in here and what I'm feeling is this real lovely, soft feeling of being held here. It's almost like we've been out on our own and now we're coming back to that lovely comfort and feeling of safety and security, almost home. We're coming back home. The universe feels like it's working for us. It's a welcoming place now, whereas it has been pretty tough. It's almost like we've been in kind of an air raid shelter, you know, we've wanted to cut ourselves off from it, and now it's opened the doors, there's flowers on the table and stuff like that. I'm getting, when I'm saying that, there's some beautiful flowers here just next to me, but I'm getting the song Our House by Crosby, Stills and Nash, and it's really bizarre because this place that I'm living in is called Nossa Casa, which means our house as well. And it's like with two cats in the yard, life used to be so hard. And this is kind of the feeling that's coming in with this Capricorn moon. So I'm liking it. My astrologer Danielle, who many of you know, she sent me a message 2 days ago, and obviously with the time differences, we can't catch up until the weekend. And she was like, just say yes to everything, Tanya. It's hitting your North Node exactly, and this is an amazing time for you. So, yeah, there's a lot. She said, just communicate, communicate, communicate. So, this, I'm quite excited, but it's almost like I can feel something's brewing as well. So, what we've got at this moment, we've got the Sun in Cancer and we've got the Capricorn, the full moon in Capricorn. So, what this is saying, or what they're saying to me that this is Cancer is all about our feels, okay? That's like kind of the mother energy, the soft, the nurturing, the lovely, you know, very emotional. Capricorn is kind of the father, you know, the sturdy, he's the one that puts the rules down. But what I'm getting here is because we've had this Gemini season where we have been that much in our head, we have kind of called ourselves out on our own bullshit or been called out in it. That now this is a time where our thinking and our feeling are kind of coming together, you know, like the kind of mother father energy are working together to parent rather to be separate here. So the thing that they said is if we're still thinking in the old way though, okay, then we're still living in the old way. The world has changed. We have changed. we are still carrying stuff and shit from decades ago, and it's affecting our life and our present. This is time to really, really let it go. I know I say all of the time, let go, let go, let go, but this is a time where we really need to. If we're going to stay stuck in our old stories, we're going to stay stuck in our old stories. That's pretty much it, you know. And what they're saying there is life isn't always fair, okay? Or we might think that it's not always fair, but there's always some divine logic to it, okay? This time, even if you are still in chaos and conflict at this moment, use this time to regroup, okay? If everything is flying all over, you then catch it and put it in the order that you want it in. Okay, this is time for us to take control. Capricorn takes no shit. You know, Capricorn, if we think it's the mountain goat, you know, and they find level footing on anywhere. There can be a bank like that steep, a cliff, and the goat will be able to stand on it. So what this is saying is that we're not looking to anybody else or anything else for our security. Okay, it's coming from ourselves, and our security comes when we let go of the past. So when we realize that the trauma that we're carrying was just our body's reaction to bad things that might have happened to us, okay? It wasn't the bad things that happened to us. It was our reaction to them that got stored in our body as trauma. So when we realize that and we realize, right, okay, this was my interpretation of that, or that was my reaction of that has then made me anxious, scared, closed off, whatever, insert whatever limiting belief you want there. When we realize that we played a part in that as well, yes, I'm not dismissing the bad things that have happened to us, okay? I'm not at all, because we all have trauma. Anybody who says that they haven't had trauma, they just haven't gone deep enough, because we all have. Even if it was, we lay in our cot and cried for 10 minutes and our parents didn't come in, that will have caused us trauma, okay? So we all have it. But it's our bodily response. When we actually realize that bodily response was our responsibility and our doing, this is when we can finally let that trauma go. Okay? So I know that sounds a little bit harsh, but it's not. This is all about us, it really, really is. So when we see what somebody has done to us, right? Oh yeah, well I'm not in relationships because I got hurt, blah, blah, blah. What we're doing, we're in victim mode. If it's, my father abandoned me, whatever. We're choosing to be in that role of victim there, okay? But when we see that our response to what they've done is actually what caused our belief, then we can own it and we can say, right, what they done was not cool, or what they said was not cool. However, I choose not to believe that. I chose to believe it then because I didn't know better. Every single one of us that is on here watching this today now knows better, okay? So if you look at the person that hurt you the most, they're probably the person that was hurting the most as well. But the person you've done the most damage or whatever, and you look at them and would you take advice from them now? Would you go to that person and say, I really need life advice and you're exactly the person that is going to give it to me? You wouldn't, because that person is completely, why would you take advice off them? So why would you allow something that they said or done decades, many moons ago, to still control your life? So this is where we take our power back. I believed you then. I know it's not true now. I am reclaiming my power. And this is where we start to rewrite our story. Okay, that story of the past, it wasn't good. It was, I don't want to say boring. It was harrowing. It was not nice. It wasn't pleasant to read or to watch or to reenact. Okay, this story that we're going to now, we choose the plot. We decide how we want it to be. Okay, and what I really feel is this is when we start to become powerful rather than the victim. Are we a victim or are we a victor? Sometimes it's easier to stay in that victim mode because then we don't have to take the responsibility. This Capricorn moon is saying, take this responsibility. If you want your life to be different, then change it. This is what it's saying. It's there for you. But it's all of the choices that we are making here, So it's like I say, it's tough, but I feel it's brilliant. Now, when I was looking to write notes with this, I was lying in bed this morning, things were coming to me. As they do, I always meditate on a morning, and I let whatever thoughts come, I let spirit speak to me, whatever, and I just lie there and take it, and then filter out what is important and what is to be put aside. And one of the things, and I mean, yes, there's a lot of trauma, or there was in my life, but I'm not focused on that. I want to say this one I find is actually quite amusing, but just to use as an analogy. So, like I say, I find it quite laughable. So whenever I was young as a child, okay, I was this perfect miracle child. My mother had lost 7 children. I was the only one that survived. I had to look right. I was put on this pedestal, okay? A lot of it was about talk show, how it was seen on the outside rather than what it was on the inside. But, I was loved, but in a different way to what I needed to be loved, I feel. So whenever I was young and I expressed anger, if I said no, if I acted up like a child does, it was a standing joke within my family where it was like, oh, look at her, she's got the devil in her, okay? Now, my family weren't massively religious, but they would say that I had the devil in me, right? Now, I remember as a child, it came to me today, being this little child, right? And suddenly thinking, hearing this and thinking, I have a devil inside of me. Now, first of all, the fact that there was something else in my body that I had no control over, that I was being kind of took over because something was inhabiting my body, is a very scary prospect for a child. Also, to know that that thing is deemed as evil and bad, how twisted and warped is that? So then when I was like, if I protested, they would say, oh, the devil's in her, the devil's in her. And I would go, no, there's no devil in me. Oh, you see, there he is. So anything I said with that, this was pretty harrowing when I think about it. So then what I would do is plead and cry and go, no, please, please, please. And I would go over and I would want to be held and want to be cuddled and wanted to be told I was still loved. I wasn't evil. I wasn't horrible. No, the devil isn't in me, Now, what I would then do is I would then become submissive, and I would then crave and demand affection, or crave and plead for affection rather than anything else. So in that time, my little mind, this little mind of this little innocent child, knew that the devil was evil or bad, So then what I discovered was, if I put a boundary up, if I expressed anger, which is a natural response, that I was bad or that I was evil. Okay? So switch to this present day now, 47 years on, nearly 48 years on. And one of the main causes of the problems within my life, or the biggest trauma wounds that I have, are not being able to express anger, not having an outlet. It's not that I don't feel it at times, but never understanding how to let that out naturally. Also, boundaries. I had no boundaries, It was like I lay on the floor with welcome on my head and people fucking walked all over me. That was not their fault. That was mine. Because I thought, still in my little brain, I thought that if I put a boundary up, I would then be classed as evil, and I would then not have this affection or this love, which is what every single human being wants. And we don't want to be an outcast. If we're outcasted from the tribe in the past, we would have died. That's it. We want to be accepted. We want to be validated, and we want to be loved. So this not expressing my feelings fully, this not expressing my anger, and this not putting boundaries up was actually something that thwarted. I don't know if thwarted is a word, but you know, it kind of demonized my life for a lot of my life, you know. And now I have boundaries like a motherfucker, and people are like, "Whoa, you've changed." And I'm like, "Yeah, that was the idea," you know. So, like I say, if I still believe that me expressing anger or putting a boundary up makes me evil or bad or unlovable, then I am still believing that thing that was told to me. I know that that's not true because I know that we need boundaries. I know that we need to express anger, you know. And now I see how absurd that was with now being an adult and understanding things better. So now I say, no, I'm claiming that back. I'm claiming my power back. If I'm going to get angry, I'm going to get angry. I'm going to allow it. If I need to put a boundary up, I am going to put a boundary up. It is not always easy. I still get them pangs of feeling bad. It's like, oh, it does still hit me when I do it. But that is a somatic response. That is my body actually going into panic, thinking, no, no, don't do that, because if you don't do that, you'll not be loved and you'll be deemed as bad. So what I do in that time now is I then speak to that little child and say, no, no, this is totally safe to do that. You're okay to do that. You know, I validate them feelings. When I do that, the body starts to relax, you know, where it has been reacting, it then starts to relax. So I validate them feelings. I validate that, yeah, you were right to put a boundary up. You really needed to do that. Well done. I'm really proud of you. So I reparent that inner child of mine, you know, which is in this panic and just wanting to be loved. So when we are responding to anything, when we get triggered, when we feel that horrible gut feeling and our stomach tightens or whatever, we're not responding to what is happening in the present. We're responding to something that was in the past. And this Capricorn moon is saying to us, you have the safety, you have the security to now embrace the future that you want. You are no longer that little child that was desperate for love and affection for survival. You are a survivor, okay? But if you still keep hanging on to them old stories, then you will always be a victim of those, okay? And like I say, we chose to make that story because it was our response to what happened. Now, yesterday I was teaching, and I've been asked to teach in one of my old teachers' schools, and he's amazing, a dear friend of mine, Jambo. And a couple of times when I was teaching,